Hello everyone, this is Nimish. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to speak about what North Indians think about South Indian movies. And when I say North India, I'm referring to the general audience other than the primary four South Indian states, which are Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, which is now divided into two. Other than these four states, everyone else who primarily watches Hindi movies growing up and doesn't have much exposure to regional films is generally considered a North Indian audience, at least as part of this conversation. Anyway, getting right into it, for those of you who have been following my channel, you know that I am very well aware of what's going on in every South industry. I know the differences, but years ago that was not the case, and years ago I was as much ignorant or sort of lacked knowledge of what the South Indian movies are all about, just as much as many people today who still don't know what South Indian movies are all about. And that brings me to my first point. There are a bunch of North Indians who don't even know that there are four industries down in the South. They don't know, if they know it, they don't know that they are significantly different and have their own styles and are completely unrelated to each other in terms of the filmmaking and the kind of films that come out. So the first thing that North Indians think is that South is South. There is no four different industries, and even if they know this fact, they think that it's just one big industry, and you know, here and there might be other industries that really don't matter or don't count, but there is one big industry. And the primary reason for this, actually the primary reason for all of these perceptions are common, so let's save them for a bit. The second impression that North Indians have about South Indian movies is that they are all action blockbuster movies, you know, commercial entertainers with, you know, a stylish big superstar who is one of the 5 or 6 that most North Indians see on screen, which could be Nagarjuna, NTR, Mahesh Babu, Allu Arjun, Surya, Vikram, Rajnikant, of course, Kamal Hassan. So you know, we know these bunch of actors who are pretty much famous and have been kind of validated because of their Hindi dubbed movies on Set Max, which is what we'll speak about later. But that's the first impression, that all in South Indian movies for the most part are action movies, and they all have one kind of frame, which is there will be a stylish action star, there will be a very fair and beautiful actress who's usually a North Indian, like a Bhatia or an Agarwal or a Singh, and then there will be a villain who is super rich, and it's usually Prakash Raj, but if it's not Prakash Raj, it's one of these guys who we've seen in Hindi movies before, so we just know who they are. It could be someone like Rahul Dev or a Sayaji Shinde or something like that. And there is a lot of action, there is a lot of comedy, there is over-the-top action, there is song and dance and all of it, and it's only commercial entertainment. I'm not commenting on whether North Indians for the most part like the movie, don't like the movie, find it funny, find it actually nice. That is not the point of this conversation. What I'm trying to say is that this is what we think. Now, the fact remains that there is a huge audience for these movies and these commercial entertainers in North India, which is why selectively, even to date, only these kind of movies are dubbed in Hindi, and that is again something we'll speak about later. Of course, today with passing time, and you know, we are in 2018, we have Netflix now in India, Amazon Prime, we have a lot of internet streaming and even a lot of movies up on YouTube. And so today the perception is slowly and steadily changing. People are getting more and more interested, and with all the people, you know, kind of immigrating here and there within India, you definitely don't have the kind of divide that we had before, where we had no access to resources and understanding of different cultures. Today there's much more awareness, and even more so after Bahubali, because after Bahubali people start taking interest in what the South industry has to offer. They start understanding that okay, Bahubali is a Telugu film, it comes from this area and it's completely different from what a Malayalam film would be or what a Kannada film would be, things like that. So there is of course a change, but I'm just going to just don't be very, you know, oh, this is not true and this is not true and I don't think like this and I don't think like that, but it's just the general opinion that people have. And why is this opinion formed? How did this even come to be? And I just remember, and I know because I look back at, you know, years ago, and I remember that me and my friends used to talk about South movies, and it used to be because of the Setmax Hindi dubbed movies that used to come. King Number One, Don Number One, all these kind of movies that used to come on Setmax. Some of the Rajnikant movies, Shivaji the Boss, which was primarily super duper successful, which had a lot of his gimmicks and his style going on in there as well. All of this generally led us to believe that these are the only South Indian movies, that this is it. This is, you know, what South Indian people like to watch. there's of course a lot of it has to do with what we get to watch. You know, we can't really help it if that's the only kind of South Indian movies that are being dubbed and kind of shown on TV. Even today there is a YouTube channel that every second day has South Indian movies Hindi dubbed version, and they're doing a very good job, but they're still picking up only these action movies. And it doesn't matter whether it's a big star or a small star, but they're only picking up these movies and calling it Dangerous Khiladi 1, 2, 3, 4 or you know, Cheetah the Leopard or something like that, vague and ridiculous. And so they which makes it even more funny. I don't even know who gives them permission to do that, but in any case they do that, and that's what we see. And so we find that these are the only movies that we are offered to watch. Now, why don't most people go beyond that? It's because most people don't like to watch movies with subtitles, don't like to get into the details of finding movies that are good and things like that. The most audience of India is generally just wants to get entertained, and so we just go and we pick a movie and we watch it. And so if it's a South Indian movie that we are interested in watching, belonging to a star or whoever it is, superstar, it could be anything, we just find what's easily available, and the most easy way to watch it is if it's a Hindi dub version. People don't generally want to sit for 3 hours and read something and put in all that effort for a movie that, you know, is just a source of entertainment. Another reason why North Indians think that all South Indian movies are similar in nature is because of the remakes that are made by actors like Salman Khan, Ajay Devgan, Rohit Shetty. These guys lift similar action movies that might be better than the Hindi dubbed movies, but are not yet the typical South Indian regional movies that are really meaningful, that are well crafted, that are arty and things like that. They are still big superstars movies that have action and have a hero villain tussle to it, and therefore they are picked up. Primary examples of these are, you know, Wanted, Singham, of course, the biggest blockbuster, and Holiday, which is Akshay Kumar's movie. All of these movies, you know, are taken from the South and sometimes remade by the same director like A.R. Murugadas, who would have made Ghajini or Holiday. And these people still choose to remake those kind of movies in Bollywood. So even the movies that are remade in Bollywood, and we hear it from the news that this is a South remake, this is a South remake, it's usually for these kind of films. So, you know, that again reinforces the opinion that this is what South India has to offer, and it just generalizes, and obviously that's not fair, but what can people do about it, you know? Things are changing in a very big way. If Vikram is doing a Sami Square, he's also doing a Dhruva Natchatiram, which is something next level altogether. But that again, you have to have the patience and the outlook to go and research that. Similarly, in the Telugu film industry, Bahubali did a lot for the Telugu film industry. It gave it its own identity, and it was not confused anymore with what the Tamil film industry is or what the Kannada film industry is or any such thing. Post Bahubali, although the Telugu film industry gained a lot of, you know, recognition, and since I'm following the industry, I know that it's constantly changing, and it is in that curve of really good change right now, because immediately after Bahubali, in a few months, Arjun Reddy came, which was nothing to do with this big impression of commercial action blockbusters. It was completely different and new age and was a super duper success. And then in this year, there are big successes like Rangasthalam, Bharat Ane Nenu, and I think Napesh Surya, which is Allu Arjun's movie, also did pretty well, although it had a lot of action. But for example, Bharat Ane Nenu has a lot of subject and content to it. It is an amazingly entertaining and really well made film on topical issues, politics and things like that. However, in Bharat Ane Nenu as well, there is Mahesh Babu doing over the top action in 3 or 4 scenes. And so things like that don't help the North Indians to change their image. They're still like, okay, this is still happening. And these superstars are so larger than life. The Tamil and Telugu superstars are so larger than life that their image takes over for what South India is, and their reach is so big because of the movies that are enjoyed by the audience, because the people who are very interested in watching them, that's why they are dubbed in Hindi. Because of all this, their reach is so big that people fail to look beyond them. People don't want to watch other actors' movies. There are so many actors in the Tamil film industry. Literally I can't even count. It's such a big industry with so many different kinds of movies and so many actors who are not stars, but these stars have such a big reach that people don't want to watch beyond that. And so that kind of image will remain as long as these kind of movies are made. However, that being said, I truly feel that the Malayalam film industry is completely different and should not be confused with the Tamil and Telugu industries. So for those of you who are unaware, don't watch Sher Ka Shikar or Puli Murugan, which is Mohanlal's biggest hit of late, and say that it's the same thing, because that is pretty much a commercial blockbuster. But other than that movie, there are a lot of other movies that are not dubbed in Hindi, which are really good movies. And so, if not anything else, like I did, I tweeted to Goldmines Telefilms, which does these Hindi dub movies on YouTube, on Twitter, and said, hey, just gave them a list of movies which I think they should dub in Hindi, and I'm like, can you do this as well so that people can watch it? And they're obviously not going to listen to me, I'm nobody, but if many people like you express interest just based on whatever movie you guys want to watch, and in fact, even if it's just the Kerala people from Kerala, or just people from Karnataka who themselves tweet out and put out the good movies for companies like this who are dubbing it, then they might do it, and that might change the opinion. But until then, this is what it's going to be. For those North Indians who are interested in understanding more about these movies, you can follow channels like mine. I'm not here to market myself, but of course I do a lot of South Indian movie reactions and reviews, but you can watch channels including mine, but there are many other bigger channels like mine that do a lot of reactions and reviews to very detailed industry movies. And when you watch those trailers through the reactions, you will understand more about it and probably get a good interest and good knowledge of, you know, what is going on, and probably even change your opinion someday. But until then, this is what we are going to think, because this is what it is. I am at least glad that I'm fortunate enough to watch and enjoy this movie with subtitles. For those of you who don't like watching it, you have to try, or you have to, you know, somehow get people to dub it in Hindi for you. But until then, I guess nothing much is going to change, and I hope you like this discussion on what North Indians think about South Indian movies. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and take care.